29 C Street, July 5th, 2022. Please silence all electronic devices as courtesy of those in attendance. Thank you very much. This is the 6:30 p.m. closed session. The items have been set aside for the city council to meet in a closed session to discuss matters pursuant to government code section 54956.9D4. The city attorney will provide an oral report regarding the closed session at the beginning of the next regular city council meeting. 1, government code section 54956.9, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, initiation of litigation pursuant to paragraph 4, subdivision D of section 54956.9. Deciding whether to initiate litigation, one case. Number 2, government code section 54956.9, conference with legal counsel, exposure to litigation, significant exposure to litigation pursuant to paragraph 2 or 3 of subdivision D of section 54956.9, one case. Number 3, government code section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiator, agency designated representatives, Mary Lerner, city attorney, and Michelle Spirit, assistant city manager, employee organizations, General Association of Service Employees. And with that, we are adjourned into closed session. Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. We're going to go ahead and stand for invocation. And after the invocation is done, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. And our very own Mr. Reed is going to do invocation for us. Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Lord, we're so thankful for goodness and mercy to us. We thank you for the city council and the time that they give. We thank you for our fire department and police department and the time that they expend on our benefit. We just pray that you would be present in this meeting, that we would all think clearly and do what is best for the city of Lemoore. We ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Ready, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Okay, roll call.
Councilmember Cheney.
Yeah.
Councilmember Gordon.
Here.
Councilmember Orr.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Matthews
Present.
and Mayor Lyons.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, is there any agenda approvals and additions or deletions?
None.
Seeing none. Closed session report?
Nothing to report, Mayor and Council.
Okay. So that's going to take us into public comment. Public comment. Public comment will be in accordance with the attached policy. This time is reserved for members of the audience to address the city council on items of interest that are not on the agenda and are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the council. It is recommended that speakers limit their comments to 3 minutes each, and it is requested that no comments be made during this period on items on the agenda. The council is prohibited by law from taking any action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda. Prior to addressing the council, any handouts for council will be provided to the city clerk for distribution to the council and appropriate staff. The public will have an opportunity to comment on items on the agenda once the item has been called and the mayor opens the item to the public. With that being said, is there any public comment? Oh, look, we got one.
I just want to thank the police department for the report that they put out for the last weekend. I think a report like that is beneficial to the citizens so that we can see exactly what they're doing. And I would recommend that we do that on future holiday weekends and maybe any other time that might be appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there any other public comment? Okay, seeing none. It's going to take us to our department and city manager reports. Chief Kendall.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I just have a few quick things. Today was Sadie Riss' first day with our department, or back with our department. She had previously been a records tech with our department. She left us, went to the academy, was hired by Avenal PD, and then came back to us. So today's was her first day. Next Monday at 1, she'll be officially sworn in. And then You know, a lot of other departments or cities are advertising their National Night Out. Just as a reminder, we're going to keep ours in October, just given the fact that we had pretty much double the response that we had in years prior. So we're going to keep it like that for time being. The last thing, as Mr. Reed kind of alluded to, we did have a large detail out there last night. We partnered with the fire department. We did have a significant amount of calls. We did actually cite 11 individuals for illegal fireworks in town. So it was a successful operation, is better than years past, but I think we'll get better next year. Thank you.
Is that something we're going to keep doing?
I intend to, yeah. I mean, just given the results that we had, I think with the amount of officers that we had out there, specifically assigned to just do that, I think there's room to grow. I think we can be more successful.
Okay, good. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, a couple things. What's the fine for having illegal fireworks?
It depends. It depends on if they were just cited for the municipal code or if they're cited for both, because it breaks down.
And the only reason I ask is, I don't know if people are aware what it might cost them.
It'd be upwards of over $1,000, especially if you're cited for the health and safety code, then you're gonna have to go to, there's added court fees involved just on top of that, not to mention.
Well, I just think it's important, like they do for drunk driving or something, what it might cost you. I just think it's important to inform the citizens before we do this next year, that, hey, this is what it might cost you, what we're gonna
Absolutely.
do. I mean, let them make a choice.
Sure.
The other thing is, are we using any technology to identify where it's coming from, like we do with the?
Yeah, so we had our drone out there to try to pinpoint, like you said, which residence it came from, because now the municipal code's set up to where we don't have to see the individual lighted off. We can, as long as we can pinpoint which backyard it came from, and it makes it
Yeah.
a little bit easier than trying to sneak through a neighborhood in a marked
Right.
patrol car.
Or
And
middle of
we
the
also
street?
had the fire department out there. The fire department was out there.
Yeah,
And they would call us. I know on a couple occasions they called us and they were able to pinpoint, which residents it came down from, and they were cited that way.
well, I thought you guys did a good job. Yeah.
It worked out.
Did the drone survive?
The drone survived. Drone
Oh,
survived.
wow.
Then we shut it down.
I'm almost surprised.
Right. They bug me every year for a new one. They're just trying to get that one
You
out.
gotta get multiple drones up now.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good evening again, Mayor and council members. A couple things out of my office on just some updates in general. We had the 4th of July run walk at Veterans Park on yesterday morning. We had 147 participants for the 3 and 5K events. So decent showing. The day camp for summer day camp, that's in its last month. So that'll be ending at the end of July. We did have the circus in town weekend before last, and they did a show for the city. We had over 100 city employees and families show up for the viewing they offered to the city employees. Event went off well. City made a little money. The vendor made some money. They plan on coming back annually. Planning Commission, we have a meeting coming up for the parcel split of the Raised Lemonade properties. He originally bought 3 acres, and I believe the plan is to subdivide it to a 1 acre and a 2 acre parcel. So that's going to Planning Commission. PG&E, in contact with them. They're still in planning for Raised Lemonade. Haven't gotten a final answer on when we're going to have power for them yet, but we'll continue to ring their phone and stay on that one. And then we have RFQs out for planning and for planning on call services. So they're all back. They've been graded by the panel. So now we're just setting up some interviews. So staff should be coming to you in the near future with some contracts for approval. Yes, sir.
With reference to PG&E, they have a community development officer. Can we have them come here? Give us
Yeah,
an
we
update?
have a liaison. Yes, we could ask them to.
just to talk to them a little bit about, let them know we're interested. Then instead of always hearing from you, but that, that we've got some projects that,
Okay.
that
All right.
Right.
Okay.
I-
Yeah, we
I
can invite
got
them
a-
down.
I got a question for you too.
Yes.
Did the circus, I'm just curious, did you go to it?
Yeah.
How was it? I heard there was no animals involved, right?
No, no animals, but it would have been, it was good. I enjoyed it. I think it would be better if you went at night because they have acrobats overhead. They're doing things with fire and flames and lights.
So it was kind of like a Cirque du Soleil kind of thing.
Yeah, Circus du Soleil, yes. And every year it'll be a new show, but yeah, it was actually pretty entertaining.
Wow.
Circus clowns and acrobatics. I would-
Clowns, acrobats, skits,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Because I think a lot of people were under the impression that there was going to be animals.
And
And
the flyer said.
well, I understand the flyer said that.
Yeah,
But,
okay.
you know,
Unless you count me as an animal, there is none there.
maybe that was the
I thought you were there, Mayor.
misunderstanding.
You weren't there?
No, I didn't.
You didn't have that?
I thought we saw you. I thought you had a red
Oh,
nose. but
Mr. Gornick's had jokes over here. All right. Who knew?
That's it. Thank you.
All right, so that's going to take us into our consent calendar. Items considered routine in nature are placed on the consent calendar. They will all be considered and voted upon in one vote as one item unless a council member or the member of the public requests individual consideration. 3-1, approval of the minutes of the special meeting, June 15th, 2022. 3-2, approval of the resolution 2022-28, consolidation of the November 8th, 2022 municipal election with Kings County. 3-3, approval of the resolution 2022-29, authorizing the continued use of the remote teleconferencing provisions AB 361 and 3-4, approval of the amendment of the city salary schedule. 3-5, approval of the lease agreement between the city of Lemoore and the CA Reading for copiers and equipment. 3-6, approval of agreement between the city of Lemoore and the Lemoore Volunteer Fire Department Association for ancillary services. 3-7, approval of the resolution 2022-30, declaring public nuisance and ordering public hearing regarding weed abatement. So would any member of council like to pull any items 3-1 through 3-7? Okay, with that being said, I am going to pull 3-6. So I'm going to open it to the public. Would any member of the public like to pull any items 3-1 through 3-7? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to bring it back to council. Now I'm going to look for a motion to accept the consent calendar.
I'll motion to approve the consent calendar minus 3-6.
Yep. Okay, I need a second.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Gornick. So Ms. Matthews, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Gornick?
Yes.
Mr. Cheney?
Aye.
Mr. Orth?
Yes.
Yes, I vote yes as well. So, okay, and the main reason I pulled 3-6, because I'm going to go ahead and recuse myself from the vote on this. Would you suggest that probably?
Yeah, my saying is when in doubt, sit it out.
Yeah, I remember that saying.
And she'll want to open it to the public as well.
Well, so if I'm going to recuse myself, should I step out for a minute or no?
Just don't vote on it. You'll-
Okay, so then we'll go ahead and just open this up to council. Do you guys have any questions regarding 3-6?
Nope.
No? Does any member of the public have any questions regarding 3-6? Nope, seeing none. I'm going to go ahead and ask for a motion for 3-6.
Motion.
Okay, Mr.
Second.
Orth. Okay, and then Mrs. Matthews. So Mr. Orth, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Cheney?
Aye.
Mr. Gornick?
Aye.
And I recuse, abstain. So then it passes. So consent calendar is finished. That's going to take us to our public hearing. 4-1. Public hearing. Confirming the diagram and assessment of the annual levy for the fiscal year 2022-23 for landscaping and lighting maintenance district number 1, LLMD zones 1 through 13. Resolution 2022-31 and public facilities maintenance district number 1, PFMD's zone 1 through 10. Resolution 2022-32. Mr. Reader.
Good evening, council. So as discussed in the last council meeting on I believe on the 15th, We have an engineer's report prepared by Will Dan and reviewed by city staff for all of the LMDs and the PFMDs. The engineer report is the basis for the adoption of the resolutions, confirming the diagram and assessment of annual levies for the fiscal year 2022 and 2023. These levies, the levies collected for the LMD zones support the landscape contractors, water meter and consumption charges, the PG&E charges to run the water meters, and the fees paid to the third-party consultant for the generation of the reports. The levies collected for the PFMD zones support the same types of services as the LMD, in addition to road maintenance, rehabilitation, park maintenance and rehabilitation, lighting fixtures, PG&E charges for light fixtures, along with any shared block walls. As you can see, the LMDs are staying fairly consistent with an increase in a couple of the zones, and then we had significant increases in many of the PFMD zones. Was there any questions from council regarding these?
No, council, no questions? Okay, with that, I'm gonna open it to public hearing. So it is now open to public hearing. Any members of the public like to ask Mr. Reader any questions regarding PFMD's LMDs? No, Marissa, nothing? You're gonna get off the hook? Should we wait? All right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and close the public hearing, and we're gonna bring it back to council. Council, we are looking for a motion to, conduct a public hearing and accept engineer's report and adopt resolution 2022-31 and resolution 2022-32.
Motion.
Second.
So Mr. Orth was my motion, Mr. Gornick was my second. So Mr. Orth, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Gornick,
Aye.
Mr. Cheney,
Aye.
Ms. Matthews.
Yes.
I vote aye as well. Ayes have it. Okay, new business. 5-1, report, recommendation and action, appointing of a voting delegate to the League of California Cities Annual Conference.
I nominate Mr. Gornick.
I second that.
Sorry, is that how it works?
I thirded.
Did I skip the?
Yeah, we had you set up.
Do you want to discuss it?
Yeah.
That's how we're trying to ensure
Yeah.
he makes it there.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. So this year, the League of California Cities is in Long Beach,
I thought it was in
California.
Hawaii.
That's where the next one needs to be.
And it is being held September 7th through the 9th. And on Friday, they hold a business meeting and where the city needs to send a voting delegate, and then we can appoint an alternate in case the primary is unable to attend. So what I'm looking for is to appoint a council member as a voting delegate and another council member as an alternate for the League of California Cities Annual Conference. And right now we have 3 council members registered for the conference, and that is Councilmember Gornick, Mayor Pro Tem Matthews, and Councilmember Orth. And the city manager will also be attending.
All I'm gonna say is I did it last year. It's a long day.
Did you go to
Well, I'd
Long
be happy
Beach?
to represent.
No, I went to Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
So then I nominate Mr. Gornick. He said he's happy to do it.
Would you like to do it, Mr. Gordon?
No,
You
I
just
I
said
had
it.
planned on.
Oh,
going
I
anyway.
didn't hear.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I had planned on going. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I registered already, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so, yeah, good.
And the alternate is gonna be?
I think it should be Patricia.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm down.
So,
So we'll
Probably
need
gonna
a
be my car
motion.
anyway, so.
yeah, so.
And then Mr. Orth is gonna be the second alternate.
So I'm gonna need a motion for Mr. Gornick to be the primary and Ms. Matthews to be the
So
alternate.
moved.
Okay, I guess I just made the motion and I guess Ms. Matthews seconded it. That's what it sounded like. So
That's what's.
I'll go ahead and vote aye. Ms. Matthews, how do you vote?
Yes.
And Mr. Cheney?
Aye.
Mr. Gornick?
Aye.
And Mr. Orth?
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it.
We're gonna represent the city.
Thank you.
well.
There you go, there you
5-1 is done. On to 5-2, report, recommendation, and action. Water operations and management agreement between the city of Lemoore and Specialized Utility Service Program. Mrs. Spear.
So Michelle isn't here this evening, so I'll be taking this one. But this is what we had talked about earlier about privatizing our water operations. So the contracts have been reviewed by CalPERS. They're good with it. Our bargaining units, we're good with this. They've already have approved to this switch. So if council should approve this agreement tonight, then we will start the process of laying out interviews with SUSP for our current employees and giving them options to take some open positions within the city, should the employee choose to stay with the city and not go into the private work sector. So that'll all take place, but we're hoping to have the transition complete August 1st. And we did shorten the contract by 1 month, so it would end on our fiscal years to be in line with our fiscal cycle. So this is, instead of 1 year, I think it'll be an 11-month contract.
Do we anticipate renewing it after?
Yes, this is probably a long-term arrangement going forth. Yes.
I just think, I think it's a really good move on our part. And I hope that some of the city employees who are considering coming over take advantage of it, because it's be good for them too. in terms of-
And I can report, we had an employee retire a week ago, and I think they retired on a Thursday. They started working for SUSP the following Monday.
It's good.
So,
Good for them.
Mr. Hernandez, enjoy your retirement, the 3 days you had of it. So, but yeah, no, it seems to be working very well.
Well, particularly as our water system gets up to speed in terms of technology and sophistication, it's good to have that backup with that company.
Yes, and I know council recalls, but if members of the public don't recall, part of the reason we started doing this was we couldn't hire qualified operators, and we even did targeted recruitments through the state's department, everybody with operators. And we just physically, the bodies aren't out there, and we're not alone in this. There's a lot of people that cannot hire the proper people to run their system. So by doing a contract, we have solved that issue for ourselves. Yes.
That's good.
Okay, so let's see.
Motion to accept.
No, hold on. Yeah, we got to go ahead and open this to the
That's right.
public for any public comment on. So, no. Well, no. Okay, now we're gonna bring it back to council. Now we're looking for a proposed motion, and you can see it on your screen. So if you would like to do a proposed motion, there it is. You can go ahead and read that.
I'll motion to approve the agreement by and between the city of Lemoore and SUSP for operations and management of the city's municipal water systems, and authorize the city manager or designee to execute the agreement and assist in the transition of city employees.
Oh, I like that much better. I'm
That
looking
was-
for a second now.
I'll take that second.
Mr. Orth, the seconds. Ms. Matthews, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Orth,
Yes.
Mr. Cheney,
Aye.
Mr. Gornick?
All right.
I vote aye as well. Ayes have it. So that's gonna take care of that. Now it's gonna take us to our brief city council reports, and we're gonna start with Mr. Cheney.
I just want to thank the fire department, and police department, especially last night. Really city from burning down, so that's always a good thing. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate them working together to achieve the best results. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Cheney. Mr. Gornick?
Just want to thank everybody, particularly public safety, fire and police. Did a great job last night. I don't think we had any casualties or anything to speak of, so that was good. I do have just a question, maybe you could help, Nate. On the southeast corner of 41 and Hanford Almona Road, what's going on there with all the trailers and all that stuff?
The lay down yard.
Yeah, it's a laydown area for the gas company that's in the area doing potholing gas lines and doing a bunch of work. That's,
With the stuff across the street, the big pipeline?
yeah, and they're working in and around the
They've been there
area.
for a
So
long time, huh?
yeah, they lease that ground to kind of stage up,
Okay,
but it's still, remember, because we've already have that site approved for a housing development
yeah. That's what I
and for
thought.
some commercial stuff. So that's unrelated at this point. So this
Okay.
is,
But when they finish they'll move out? and then-
Yes, yes, they will move out when they finish.
You have any idea what the timeline is?
I'd have to double check that one.
Okay, no, I just curious.
Are you done?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Okay, that's, Mr. Orth?
Yes, I'd like to reiterate what the other two council members have said. Thank you for the police and fire to work together. Everyone was safe last night, a lot of tickets, which is not good, but good, I guess. All I can report out is Caltrans at my last CART board meeting. They have supposedly earmarked the money to expand or widen 41 from Excelsior, the 8 miles north
Mhm.
from Excelsior, 41, 8 miles north to widen that
To Elkhorn.
to, is it Elkhorn? Okay. But they're not gonna do that till 2025. So
Speed of government.
speed of government. So it looks like the signage and everything worked and the governor listened and I'm sure he did.
You had the money to.
And he had the money. So they're gonna widen it. They didn't tell us how much, but it was a lot. So
Good.
other than that, thank you very much for all the city staff, everything you guys do to make the city run and the police and fire. Good job.
Ms. Matthews?
Just want to start off by hoping everyone had a great Fourth and a safe one for the most part. I also want to thank, I mean, everybody said it, but you can't say it enough. Thank police, fire, dispatch for all your work over the weekend. All of you guys working together made a difference, obviously. So thank you all. I also attended the Lemoore Naval Air Station 60th birthday party bash, which was, the birthday was actually last year, but because of COVID, they pushed it back to this year. So it was a nice celebration out there. And at KWRA, the Kings Waste Recycling Authority, we did pass the budget for the fiscal year. So there will be some changes in pricing coming, not for your dumping, but for like roll-offs, for your tires. Oh, there was one other thing that we changed the price for. Was it one other thing, or is it just the roll-offs and the tires?
Roll-offs, tires were the two big ones.
Yeah, I think it was just those two. That might be the two that I'm thinking. So it's still competitive, but did have to raise fees to cover the expenses. There is a KCAO food distribution July 21st that will be held out at West Hills College in the morning. I also attended Rock in the Arbor last Friday. Great weather after the sun went down. There's 4 more left, so if you haven't made it out there yet, I know a lot of people still don't know that it's going on, so there's 4 more left.
Is there a good turnout at that?
Yeah, it was pretty, last week was a little, I think because of the 4th of July weekend, it was a little bit light, but like the weekend before was packed. So I think this Friday is probably going to be packed too. So don't forget your chairs, bring your own chair. I also attended the Circus Royal. It was, I enjoyed myself. It was good. And that was it. I think that's it. Yes. Thank you, city staff. Thank you, fellow council members.
You're welcome. Anyways, Mr. Reed, thank you so much for doing the vacation. That was kind of nice having you up here saying something different for a change. Chief, thank you for allowing the firework detail last night and putting it together. And it was nice working with, you guys and having a joint effort on that. Nathan, your staff, your office, thank you. Tell everybody they're doing good. Marissa, includes you, young lady. The Fleet Reserve has their bike night
Bike
tomorrow.
night, yes.
I can't believe Miss Matthews forgot to say
It's a-
that.
It's because I don't get to
It's a
come.
bike night, not a scooter night.
Oh,
Yeah,
you can bring
oh,
your scooter.
I can bring my scooter. That's it.
You can bring your bicycle.
It's got
you
2
can bring
wheels
your
and
tricycle.
a handlebar. I don't.
I think, didn't it say they were having chili dogs or something?
Yeah, I think so. So I did read that. And aside from that, yeah, everybody be safe and be well.
Good. Can I have just, Nathan, 2 things. One, going over the budget. It's a good budget. I think everybody put together. Significantly different than it was 3 years ago. It just goes to when we had our retreat, we talked a little bit about marketing a little bit and getting some public, some positive publicity out there about things that we've done as a council under your leadership. And I just think it's important that we kind of stress that or get somebody to help us do that. I think that's important.
Yep, we're on the search for it.
Okay.
And with that, we're adjourned. We're adjourned.